But something went terribly wrong in the life of Craig Trimble that turned the beloved cop into an armed robber.
If he just cried out just a little bit.
Cops and robbers. A star football player felled by a gruesome motorcycle accident.
I was pronounced dead on arrival.
Making a courageous comeback.
Yeah, I lost my left leg below my knee.
And swimming against the tide to take on the toughest test of endurance known.
I feel so proud of him.
Some kind of hero.
Hello, I'm Maureen O'Boyle. Welcome to A Current Affair. Rhonda Walker and Alan Zantz had talked about marriage, but Alan never quite remembered to pop the question. That didn't stop Rhonda from buying a gown, planning a wedding, and gathering her guests. But she didn't tell Alan of her plans. And Mike Watkus reports that in this strange love story, the groom was told only, surprise, you're married.
Good evening to all of you. You know why we're here. Absolutely the most unusual thing I've ever done.
And what follows is probably one of the most unusual spectacles you're ever likely to see. For courtesy of this videotape, we're all going to a wedding. But not just any kind of wedding, a lavish affair at the beautiful Hotel Bel Air in Beverly Hills. There is, of course, a lovely beaming bride, a ravishing gown, smiling family, laughing friends, even a mime to add to the marital mirth. The only thing missing, in fact, is the handsome bridegroom. But shh, for according to this wedding invitation, that's just the point. All this is a giant conspiracy, an elaborate ruse. For you see, the bridegroom, a man named Alan Zantz, has no idea he's about to tie the knot. Oh, he and his girlfriend, Rhonda Walker, have talked about getting married, but Alan is a procrastinator. Rhonda decided to play a little joke by putting rings around both of their fingers.
I understand from the director of this event, and that's Rhonda Walker, that she is going to come in, she's going to join me. In 3 or 4 minutes, Alan is coming in, and he assumes that he is coming to visit with many of you who are friends for years and years, and friends of Rhonda's and friends of his, and that he's come into a party, a dinner party at the Bel Air Hotel. He has not a clue that it is his impending doom.
I came in, everyone stood up, and Alan was supposed to come in like 3 minutes later. And we waited 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes went by. Alan still wasn't there, and my heart just stopped. I just thought, he knows he's not coming. He doesn't want to get married. That was the first time I ever had a fear that he wouldn't do it. That I never even thought about it until then, and then it was too late. Then I couldn't run out.
No, by that point, there was no place to run. For nearly 200 co-conspirators were assembled and waiting. The Speaker of California's House of Representatives, Willie Brown, was ready to conduct the ceremony. And the clock continued to tick. But still, the oblivious bridegroom was nowhere to be found. Had the two friends assigned to deliver the groom failed in their responsibilities? Or worse, had Rhonda's fears been realized? Had Alan caught on and caught the first plane to Mexico? But suddenly, the doors opened, and a befuddled Alan stood before the crowd. By the look on his face, it was obvious the surprise was a complete success. But now the question, after being deceived, how would Alan respond to, do you take this woman to be your wife?
The groom has finally arrived. But what obviously is a very surprised occasion for him.
Big toe.
Alan and Rhonda, if I could have your undivided attention for just a few minutes.
Take a breath.
Smelling's fault.
He needs a doctor. Let us pause for a moment to collect our thoughts and clear our minds. Do you, Alan, take Rhonda to be your lawfully wedded wife? Do you promise to love and cherish her in joy and sorrow, in health and sickness, in prosperity and adversity, so long as you both shall live? Oh, there's no doubt. Now, Rhonda, do you take Alan to be your lawfully wedded husband? Do you promise to love and honor him in joy and sorrow, in sickness and health, in adversity and in prosperity, so long as you both shall live?
That's the second surprise.
I do.
Well, I thought she was out of her mind. That's the first thing I said to her. I mean, how could you do all this? And you never told me you're out of your mind. And
Were you angry?
No, not at all.
It never occurred to me that I was being gutsy about it.
Alan, you're a smart young man. You're a doctor. You're a... How could you have been kept in the dark for something like this?
Well,
People gotta think, what's wrong with Alan?
Yeah,
Wake up and smell the coffee.
I'm not very suspicious. I did ask her a few things, and I would ask questions, but she always had an answer. It was a well-thought-out plan. And, yeah, I was in the dark, and, yeah, I don't know how it happened, but I certainly was surprised.
Alan, after all this, will you ever trust your wife again?
Got me a little paranoid. She's devious now. I always thought that she was sweet and honest.
Yet, despite the credibility gap, Rhonda and Alan are now the perfect picture of marital bliss. Although Rhonda doesn't recommend this for everyone.
Most of his friends say, I can't believe you did this. You're going to give my girlfriend ideas. And if my girlfriend did this to me, I would kill her. A lot of people weren't real happy.
Yeah.
I put the idea into their head. But the one thing I'd like to point out is I wouldn't recommend a surprise wedding for everyone.
But in the case of Rhonda and Alan, marriage has turned out to be a very pleasant surprise.
It's a great idea. Now, when we come back, the shocking life and death of a top cop.
Everybody loved Detective Craig Trimble.
You know, he was